Well, I was flying over land and sea near to the ground, and I came flying here for you to see what I found. Remember the swamp? Remember my song in the swamp when I was like womp, chicka womp, chicka womp. What the fuck is this stupid song? My God, this is awful. I tried to even spice it up, and it's still terrible.
Wow. Yeah, I don't know. I tried. It's a bad song. It's a bad song. Yeah, I mean, it's been mentioned before, but Awkwafina sounds like a 9-year-old girl who smokes and does cocaine nonstop and drinks gin. Blue, did you miss my stupid song?
I just walked into the door. And, yeah.
But yeah, what about Awkwafina's voice that we don't like? It sounds like she gargles hot asphalt before she goes to bed. It sounds like she drinks straight gin and smokes 7 crack rocks a day. I never saw the first one really, not since maybe I was a child, but like I watched this new one kind of like going in kind of totally not expecting much, and yeah, it delivered not much. Out of nowhere last night at 3 a.m, I noticed, you know what? The original's 88 minutes long.
Yeah.
Oh, it's an hour shorter, and it's so much tighter. I gotta say this. This part right here, when she comes out of the water, I kind of like welled up a little bit. Yeah. It was great. And the fact that it's not in the new one, it's
Dude,
like,
what?
Yes.
Yeah. So check it out. Let's just, I mean, we'll no particular order. We're just going to talk about this, you know, and this is why I'd rather do the stream, because, you know, making a tight edited video on contemporary stuff. I'm with Russ, like Dark Hour, the contemporary videos. Like, I don't really give a shit anymore. I never really did. And like, why are you going to bust your ass when like dudes like Drinker and Nerdrotic are just going to beat you to the punch and get the million views, and you're going to say the same shit because we're all on the same page?
See, the thing I did differently though is because my son turned 16. I said for my kid's birthday, I brought him to see The Little Mermaid because I'm a shitty father. So,
like, back to the ending, the famous fucking ending that we all love, right? We see her coming out of the water, right? And it's so magical, and like, because the reason why it hits so hard is because of the immediacy. The boat crashes into Ursula, and they're washed onto shore like that. The sun has come up, and they're both ashore. She's on the rock, like looking at him, and right then and there, Triton fucking turns her into a human, and right then and there, she comes out of the water with open arms into his arms, and that's it. The immediate emotional catharsis right after the conflict resolves. It's so quick, and then in this one, it's like he gets washed ashore. Then he wakes up, his family finds him, tells him, oh, you know, don't worry, you'll be all right. He's just moping around for a while. And then like a day later or something, Triton turns her into a human. Yeah. And then she doesn't come out of the water. We don't see that shot.
Nope.
We instead see him like hanging out on the balcony, like playing fetch with the dog.
Exactly. Yeah.
And he fucking, I don't know, the stick, something, I can't remember what happens, but like the camera pans left, and next to the dog is like her dress.
Yeah.
It's a little surprise. And I know what they were kind of going for, but I mean, like I said, not having seen either one, watching the second one after the fact, like I said, like when she starts coming out of the water, like sparkling with a fucking sun behind her, it was like, dude, that's a good moment. Great moment. I can see the tears coming out of the audience there. Shit, it almost got me for half a second.
That's the problem with these live action remakes. It's there's no fucking soul, no emotion. I told everybody, even my girlfriend, my sister, how was Javier Bardem? The guy is legitimate, great fucking actor, and it's like I've given more emotions on the fucking toilet.
Was I right in saying that they digitally inserted his face onto a CGI merman?
There were definitely parts like where I was obviously like, wow, this, like, he especially looked weird.
Yeah.
I think his beard might have been CGI for all I fucking know. You know,
honestly, it wouldn't surprise me at this point. Yeah.
Why is it that none of the sharks in this movie talk? Like, they're all like savage beasts, and every other fucking fish can talk. Yeah, the ocean is supposed to be vast. You know, the ocean is deep and wide, like Melissa McCarthy. You know, it should be this like this part where you know, she, like, I was jarred out by the fact that when she turns into a human, she kind of has to swim back to the surface all of her own. It's like Melissa McCarthy gave her no warning. By the way, take a deep breath, because I'm going to give you lungs in a second. These people are so fucking stupid that, like, when they think like of diverse mermaids, think about it. You could have a red one, a fucking blue-skinned one, a green, like they're fish, goddammit. Instead, they just think Asian one, blonde one, black one.
That's exactly what
you know,
it is.
it's just like, what the fuck are you know, come on, dude. Like, and let's talk about Halle Bailey. Like, there's nothing, I'm trying so hard not to call her Halle Berry.
Everybody is.
So Halle Bailey, she is fine. I mean, she's a wonderful singer, and yes, I don't think she's unattractive. There are people who are like really shitting on her looks. I don't mind.
Yeah, I don't get
Mermaid. My problem is like, why don't you just go all in the paint? How about make the fucking thing set in Jamaica and everyone's black? Like, just go all or nothing.
Yeah.
They're not going to do that because China won't like that.
Wait, I thought that's what they did.
Well, it is like a weird, vague island setting. I can't tell if it's the Mediterranean or the Caribbean, but you know, I don't mind like this idea of like black Rastafarian villagers everywhere. Like that's fine. And black mermaids, who cares? But it is weird that Eric's mother is all of a sudden a black lady. And I'll explain why. It just gives it, first of all, this weird, like, Oedipal kind of vibes. Because, like, in the original, like, I don't even think his mother shows up, right? There's this, like, royal highness lady now. And she's, like, this black lady. And it would be weird if, like, in the original, like, his mother was a huge thing and she was, like, a red-haired white lady. Because it gives it this, like, kind of, like, he wants to fuck his mom kind of vibes, you know, because he's getting a girl that just kind of like her.
Okay,
her.
yeah,
I mean,
now I get where you're going with.
But also it is like racist posturing, because the idea is this is one of those times where, like, you know, Disney trying to be more inclusive accidentally becomes more racist, because they're saying, like, you know, first of all, why do all these people hate white people? Because they're colonizers, they're rich, they're fancy hoity-toity fucking wig-wearing landowners. Yeah, so let's just give all these qualities that we hate about white people to a black lady, and that'll make it okay. It's like the Cleopatra thing, or like, imagine if they were just like, hey, let's make George Washington from now on in all depictions he'll be a black man. And black people are just going to be like, that doesn't improve anything. What does that have to, you know, man, that doesn't make anything better. I don't know what you're saying. So like when Disney's saying like, hey, in our movies, black people get royalty in our movies too.
But
it's
they're
like,
also
it's racist when you say it like that. Yeah. Well, if anyone should have been race swapped, it should have been Ursula, because when I watched the original, I could have sworn it was voiced by a black woman. I was like, this sounds like a fat black lady. Instead, it was a little old white lady. I was shocked. Yeah, that was a confusing part. Is why is that bird talking underwater?
Yeah.
That's something that didn't happen in the original either. I was
as I'm watching, I'm thinking, what the fuck is in top of sheets of fish right in front of flounder?
Yeah.
I read about that. But...
And dude, Aquafina's voice is so bad. And I know that, what's his name? Buddy Hackett. I mean, he was kind of annoying too, but Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
I would rather have the whole movie voiced by Buddy Hackett than fucking one Aquafina.
Yeah, but Buddy sings for like 5 seconds during Kiss the Girl, and then the other fish shut him up. Like, that's the fucking joke.
But like, yeah, the Aquafina rap, to be fair, in the movie, this is the scene where Scuttle comes in and says about, hey, the prince is getting proposing to someone. It must be Ariel, right? No, it's the witch, you know, but instead, she comes in and does a rap. Well, I remember people complaining about the song because Aquafina, who thinks that she should be a voice actress? It's terrible. Like Chris is saying, like, everything we're gonna say has been said already and will be said again. It's number one, but it's underperforming. Yeah, exactly. Both can be true. Also, it's just this idea of like, again, more gaslighting. Like, of course it's gonna make a fucking shit zillion dollars. The problem is the movie cost $2 shit zillion. Yeah, that's the problem. You understand?
This is what keeps happening all the goddamn time. That's why people hate these remakes for it, because you keep saying we have to modernize. No, the key term, whether it's Mermaid, Aladdin, Lion King, etc., they call these films a timeless classic. The key word is timeless. Now with the live action remake, no, this film is a product of its fucking times. That's why it's not going to age well, because a film like this, because who knows, like rap could be dead in 10 fucking years. But
that's why, like,
you
criticize these movies for having this like Broadway style like musical, but it's like that's because that shit just doesn't age, because it's always old fashioned.
100%,
you know what I mean? But imagine if like the 90s version had a fucking ska song in it. Well, you think that would still be relevant today? You know, fucking Mighty Boss Tones did the Under the Sea song. Dude, the talking seagull singing the rap scene in the bedroom is kind of freaky. It's terrifying. It looks kind of freaky. And like, to be fair, like Halle Bailey's character, the Little Mermaid, she's like taking her pillow and like covering her ears. You know, she doesn't, you know, but I mean, what's also just so vastly like different is like the beginning, like I said, in the beginning of the animated one, I was like, I was like interested already. It's like the first 5 minutes are so superior to the first like 15, 20 minutes. It's fucking 18 minutes into the movie when Halle Bailey, the first song happens and it's part of your world. And we're 18 minutes into the movie. Okay. In the first 5 minutes of the animated version, we already get to know Eric's character and Ariel's character without even meeting Ariel yet. You understand? And we already have a huge world under the sea that we've established with all these like diverse like mermaid characters. In the new one, we just see like a fucking weird pedestal in the middle of the ocean floor with like 6 little seats. And like all of a sudden 5 little female mermaid girls show up. And then a mermaid king shows up. And they're the only ones there. And it's like, where's Ariel? This is literally what's happening. Like, where's Ariel? And it's like, oh, I don't know. In the original, there's like a big music number where like something Tinker the Bell, here's the youngest sister, Ariel, and then fucking she's not there. And it's a big dramatic reveal. It's like, why are you guys so like you're missing the mark so early, so fast?
I'm checking my phone. My kid's yawning like just enough already. Like, get to the point.
That was like a common criticism I saw. I was like, right around the 88-minute mark of this movie, where the other movie should be over by now, like credits and all. At this point in the live action movie, the 88, 90-minute mark is where the kids start fidgeting. The kids are starting to get restless. They would need to go to the bathroom and start
I was
crying.
checking my phone, especially when Eric busts out to his new, the new Eric song. That song was a total fucking waste of time.
All the new songs.
The pitch was off. Like
the new songs are so jarring. And when you compare, like, like I said, these old songs to Tyler's guy, to the fucking Howard Asher guy, and then this Lin-Manuel fucker, like every fucking song. They were criticizing, even fans of his are criticizing him for the rap song because it's like, why does he insist on putting a rap song, and not just any rap song, but one of these triplet raps where it's like da 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 da, that new style of rap that fucking even Snoop Dogg hates. Who started this shit?
I couldn't tell you, but I mean,
I noticed like there was a scene in the Ursula song where she talks about body language and fucking using. I was like, I do not remember that.
That was one of her best lines.
They cut that out of the remake for sure. But I remember, like, because you have to understand, I'm a 37-year-old man. I'm watching both of these movies for the first time, and I watched the remake first. So, like, you would think that, like, the first one would have a more bigger impression on me since I saw it first. But, like, watching the 88-minute version, I was definitely, like, there were parts where I was, like, trying to be on my phone and still being like, still like interested in what is going on. I'm like, wow, that was a nice little touch there.
I'm sure.
And the body language part was definitely one of those where I was like,
Poor Unfortunate Souls, like a third of the lyrics are completely gone. And most of them are basically Ursula manipulating Ariel by saying that like men don't care about this, men only care about these like physical aspects of a woman. And I'm just sitting there going, first off, isn't that what the fans you claim to represent would want to keep in there? And second of all, that's literally the leverage that she has on Ariel to trick her into this. So I have to, you guys have seen it. So like, I have to ask, how does Ursula actually talk Ariel into signing the agreement?
Drinking,
she's in a cave, dude. She's in a cave. It's littered with fucking human skulls and shit. There's skulls everywhere. She like literally takes one and talks to one for a second. You're like,
yeah, because remember in the original, like she would take the mer people and turn. It's at the end of the film. Remember when Ariel kills Ursula and stuff, all the mer people come back to mer people because like they're like those small little shriveled people, but they're still alive. Versus this one, she's actually murdering the mer people. So.
Yeah, and I gotta say, like I like Chris and Critical Drinker and everyone else saying like, Melissa McCarthy is one of the stronger parts of this movie because she's doing a pretty note for note remake of Ursula.
That's
She's
what I said.
channeling that character pretty well.
Here's the thing, just going by the soundtrack, she has the menace. She has like
she's doing this like, hey boys kind of voice, like, hey, I ain't gonna take none of your shit. Who would you rather, Melissa McCarthy as Ursula or just plain old Aquafina?
For what? What's the question?
Yeah, that's not really even a contest.
See,
Who would you rather?
Oh God.
Melissa McCarthy.
Melissa McCarthy as Ursula. I think she
Yeah.
did have a little kind of I was kind of I don't
Well,
know.
it's
Why did I have a
like,
weird boner at parts during that? You can only wear fucking crazy S&M sexy outfits and bring on your freak if you're like unattractive. If you're fat and gross like Sam Smith or Lizzo, they're allowed to wear fucking, weird leather see-through outfits and shit. Whereas like actually sexy people are not allowed to do that anymore. It's criticized because it's body shaming. Like I asked Blue this, but like, yeah, Tyler, like, okay, I'm gonna make a deal with you. Like, I'm gonna trade you. I'm gonna give you fucking legs in exchange for your voice. And you're like, yeah, that sounds like a good deal. Sure. And as soon as I get your voice, I start cackling like a fucking crazy person.
Well, I'll admit, like, she doesn't really reveal her most true nature until like after she signs the scroll. Like, I'll give her that.
Yeah.
But absolutely, like, definitely like a suit, like a car salesman.
Well, that's
like,
right.
Hey,
That's
can you sign right here. And as soon as he signs, he's just like,
I forgot this one too. That's right. She didn't sign the scroll in this one. All she did was she took a piece of Ariel's fin. She took a piece of her fin.
It was a blood.
Yeah, it was a blood pact, but she never actually signed the scroll.
Yeah, signing a scroll is too like white patriarchal colonizer. Mermaids wouldn't have laws. That's the thing is like there is no mermaid like civilization in this movie. There's just the mermaid guy and his daughters, and then at the very end of the movie they show all the mermaid people like happy that she's going away into the sunset, and you're like, who the fuck are these people?
Yeah, I agree.
I don't remember seeing any of these other mermaid people in this live action movie.
Ursula's telling Ariel, like, you have to win Eric by not using your powers. I'm like,
yeah,
okay, I can even go with that. That's an interesting concept if they would have did something with it. Like,
Ursula's the only part of the movie that's worth watching, especially like when she turns into Ursula again in front of everyone at the party and starts like doing the fucking exorcist crawl. Like that shit was, and when she becomes giant Ursula at the end, it's legit terrifying. It's legit like.
I gotta be honest, guys. I swear I had nightmares of the original Ursula turning giant. Like, giants scared the shit out of me as a kid. I can't explain why, but every time I saw one in a movie or show, like, I just instantly, like, just wanted to hide behind the couch.
For me, like, yeah, she's terrifying because she's tall, but for me, what was really freaky was, like, her makeup. Like, she has these really dark eyes that are in shadow, and you can just see this, like, glowing, like, little green little iris, Yeah. And she's, like, like a colossus, like, oh, and it's just like, cool.
These jackasses with modern Hollywood, modern Disney, they take it as, okay, Eric is saving Ariel, and of course, Ariel can't be saved by a man. But Drinker's like, the thing is, in the beginning, Ariel saves Eric's life. That's because Eric was going to die. So he returns the favor by saving Ariel's life. And of course, in this version, guess what? Eric is fucking on a rock. He's all helpless and pathetic. And of course, Ariel has to be the one to kill Ursula because, God forbid, the guy did the heroic saving. Like,
talking about... I mean, I don't know. I mean, maybe we'll talk about that part later, but I don't know what I mean, the idea like Halle Bailey, I couldn't help but notice, like, you're paying someone definitely like $100,000 to like digitally de-hands her, and you're taking painstaking efforts to remove. This actress, I'm seeing pictures of her. I'm seeing pictures of her, and the girl's stacked. She's got some fucking jugs, like
Ariel is very flat chested in this movie.
C cups, and it's like, look, here's the thing: there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not body shaming. I'm not being a horny pervert. You could be objective and say this woman is voluptuous, but the girl in the movie we saw is not, and they take very painstaking effort to make her like an A cup. And it's like, why don't you just hire an actress that doesn't have fucking huge jugs? Yeah. I mean, the point is, I don't want to spend this whole stream talking about these young actors' titties.
Yeah, but what you're saying, it's just like the point that, like Halle Berry, you've seen pictures in the past few weeks, and she's on the red carpet, and boy, she looks a lot different when she's not Ariel.
Right, it's one of those things you can't help but notice. Like, why take the painstaking effort and budget? Like, you pick the actress, right? And it's like, okay, she's selected, she can sing, she can act, she's lovely. She's also got D cups, and you're like, okay, well, there's an extra $100,000 right there just to pay the visual effects people, to pay the corset wardrobe people. We got to get chest binders or whatever the fuck, all that. It's like, why don't you just hire an actress who doesn't have giant titties? I don't understand. I mean, the thing is, man, again, the movie's legitimately bad. Like, it's not, you don't need to be a racist or a sexist or an alt-right troll to say the movie is legitimately, it doesn't hit nearly as hard as the animated one. It's an hour longer, yet for some reason, I noticed they removed the best part of the animated one. The best part of the animated movie is for
Let me
sure
guess, Le Poisson.
this fucking chef guy cooking up fish, trying to kill the crab. There's like a whole subplot that was completely removed. The movie's an hour longer, and yet they still had to cut scenes. And they're like, what did they add? These modern executives that are getting into this movie making business from nepotism and other various, who do you know type dealings, they don't even watch good movies. They don't know what it takes to make good movies. So they just kind of snort their cocaine and just be like, yeah. And then we'll put lots of inclusivity in there, and we'll have a rap song. And I just think it's like, I don't even think there's a rhyme to reason to these people like signing off to this shit. But back to like Lin-Manuel, it reminds me of like Harrison Ford. Like people are like, oh, Harrison Ford, he just seems like he's phoning it in. It's like, that's because they're begging him to make this shit. Lin-Manuel is also, I never liked Lin-Manuel's music, but even the Lin-Manuel fans are like, he's phoning it in. Yeah, because they're like begging him, like, please, we'll give you $50 million to make one song. Yeah, like I said, like either go all in, like fucking literally, like, yeah, if the Aladdin movie was literally a Bollywood film directed by a Bollywood director, that would have been incredible. Like, I didn't even think of that. Like, well, that's the other thing, like talking about like phoning everything in, everyone's phoning it in because everyone's just like stretching the dollar as far as it can go. Everyone's trying to skim a little off the top. That's why these budgets are so overinflated. And it's just like all these bureaucratic, like all the guilds and the what's the words I'm looking for? The
focus
groups. No. Like where the actors, the screen actors, and all the goddamn Jimmy Hoffa used to fucking hate. Goddamn unions. There you go. Unions. Yeah. Thank you. All the fucking unions with the actors and the screen actors union and the actors union and the writers unions and the fucking props people unions. Everyone's got to make sure they're not getting mistreated and paid enough and they're allowed breaks. Well, again, it's more like filmmaking gaslighting, dude. It's just like, like you just try to fucking gaslight us and tell us that these movies are good. And the reason why people don't like them is because problems with them. You're the problem if you don't like this movie. And anyone who doesn't like this movie, they sound like they're a problem too. Who else? Anybody else in here a problem? Oh, we got problems we need to deal with in here. Like, that's the fucking attitude they give us. The fucking viewers. You're making this movie for us, you shitheads. It's like, we don't like it. It sucked. I'm sorry. Even if you're in the fold, you're one of them. Like, dude, the guy who did the voice of fucking, what's his name? Jimmy Pesto from Bob's Burgers. He's off the show. He's been fired. He's totally removed from everyone. Because why? Because someone got like a picture of him at the January 6th protests outside the building, like in the fucking field with like 1,000 other people. It's crazy. I've always been a fan of his. I didn't even know he was a goddamn January 6er. And honestly, after I found that out, I like him more. Seriously. Christ. Again, it's just the gaslighting constantly. We're getting gaslit about everything. Like the movies we watch are good. The politicians we have are good. The economy, it's all good. Everything we tell you is everything they're fucking telling us is a lie to the point where even the movies we're consuming, they're fucking literally lying about like how we should be feeling about this shit. It's fucking disgusting. And this is why, like, why are 4 grown men in here, 3 grown men talking about the Little Mermaid movie? It's like, it's a bigger issue than that. Like,
the first Little Mermaid. The first Little Mermaid looked at the box office, 1989, did $220 million just at the box office, which back in 1989 is pretty fucking impressive for an animated movie. It wasn't just in 1989 only white people going to see the Little Mermaid. It's like,
I think obviously, like, when Megan was in here earlier saying her and her friend Alex have no interest in watching the new one. I think it's because they themselves are both redheads, so they personally are probably slighted by this remake because it's like, hey, I always got the original to relate to because obviously I could, but at the same time, like, I'm joking. Obviously it's like most people. I mean, no, it doesn't. I had no problems relating to Steve Urkel as a kid. You know what I mean? Or Carl Winslow as an adult.
Fucking Lord of the Rings did $3 billion. It wasn't just white people going to see Lord of the Rings. Like,
no, yeah.
You're all fucking dead,
it's definitely all nerds that go to see Lord of the Rings. That's the thing. white, black, Asian, doesn't matter. We're all nerds. That's the thing. And the Little Mermaid, it's like, yeah, all the people there, it's like, yeah, black, white, Asian, doesn't matter. It's all, mostly little girls, and it's the same thing. It's just like, who cares about the skin color? And it's like, we don't, I mean, that's the thing. It's like I said, it is a little weird. Like the only problem I had with the skin color was the mother, like I said, because it is like, it's that posturing where like, we're going to create a new character who's like the queen. We have a queen now. So why it's like the toxic masculinity thing. Like, we're going to make a strong female character. We're going to give her all the fucking shit we complain about when a man does it and just make her do it. And that's cool. So now we're just going to take a black woman and make her do all the things that a fucking George Washington type character would do. And that makes it better. I don't understand how this, I don't know how this is appealing to want to see or like something we asked for. All the changes you could have done to this movie, like Chris was saying, it's like, dude, the stuff about like the actual spell and the magic and the mermaid sirens and the fucking the Atlantis city, like all that stuff is what you should have built on.
Yeah. These guys, there's so many great ideas that they just didn't capitalize on. There's just a lot of stuff you could have did with this movie. So, shit. I think it's me and Tyler now.
Well, obviously it's good Memorial Day. Even outside hanging out with the crows.
My Memorial Day is in November and it's called something else, but yeah. But in any case, Seprify, and in a strange way, this was fun talking about. I will give it that.
This was one of those dumb streams where I came up with the name Memorial Day, and I was just like, well, now we gotta fucking talk about Mermaid movie, and I gotta fucking watch it. It's one of those things where I was like,
shit, how did I miss the R? Fuck.
Yeah, Memorial Day. Get it?
Damn it.
This is why
I thought it was a memorial for the only dignity Disney had.
No. That too. It's a double entendre. Yeah, exactly. We are paying respects to another fallen comrade of ours, the fucking Little Mermaid.
I missed that.
Usually, I'm the guy. I refuse to watch this contemporary crap. Like, I'll wait around. I'll wait till the HD version comes out, and I don't care. By that time, the movie's already been out for 5 months. Everyone, like, I just saw the Mario movie. Get it? But like, this is one of the few times where I'm like, okay, I'll bite the bullet. I'll fucking watch the movie. And of course, I've done nothing but suffer for it. I'm over here streaming to an audience of nobody, talking about it for a couple hours, just like venting, just grown men, just like screaming into the void. The children's movie was bad. Well, again, like I can't commend you enough for showing up on time. I don't know how you do it. You're like, all right, I'll just drive drunk as hell 90 miles an hour, 2 hours away.
I texted my girl. I was like, honey, I've never in my life drove 100. I had to test.
Man, you don't need to be risking your life like that for these stupid streams. If you had popped in right now, it would have been fine. People like, hey, Tyler just left. Perfect timing. Chris.
I've seen 10 Fast and Furious films. Okay, I'm experienced.
Yeah, I know what I'm doing. I've seen Vin Diesel do it before.
Paul
Walker died in a fucking car crash. You know what I mean? But yeah, back to this bullshit. So, but the point is, like, what are normal Memorial Day weekend movies? And I remember that was the other, I said Memorial, didn't I? I'm gonna say it from now on. Memorial Day.
Goddamn Mermaid.
But let's see. Memorial Day box office numbers. The audience, verified audience. We sense fuckery in the IMDb rating, so we're giving it an adjusted rating of 95% from the verified audience.
It's like you would say, right? The thing is, you would say, okay, Rotten Tomatoes, right? Okay, right now it has a 97% approval rating. It's supposed to be doing good. Okay, guys, if that was the case, then why does the trailer have 10 million downvotes and 1 million upvotes? So yeah,
well, because of racist trolls. Racist trolls, they don't like the fact that there's a black woman in The Little Mermaid. No, it's more like we don't like these stupid live action movies. They're bad. They have not. You're not winning us over.
I said in my video when my video's done, I'll upload. I said, guys, the first thing me and my kids said, okay, listen, let's get the elephant out of the fucking room. Even if if Ariel in this film was a fucking white girl with green eyes and red hair, it still would have been a shitty movie. Simple as fucking that. It's like,
right. You had the little girl from the It remake. She's playing Ariel. It would have been the same reaction.
Just when I fucking said, like, her acting, I called it in the video, Halle Berry to joke about this. Halle Berry's acting in this fucking film, that was the least of the fucking problems in this fucking movie.
like I
Come
said,
on.
she's like one of the few things I enjoyed about the movie. She's a fine actress. She's a
Like,
lovely little
she
girl.
did a very good Ariel impression. I said it's like,
She's got a wonderful voice. She's a singer.
Yeah.
And Christ, like I said, she's got a career ahead of her
Yeah.
if she can handle the legit. Because like for sure, I've definitely seen like legit fucking racism thrown her way.
Oh, of course.
There's
That happens.
racists on the internet. This is why you shouldn't read the fucking, and that's like I said, they'll take the fucking one legitimately offensive remark and say, obviously, this is why the movie's getting 1-star reviews.
Yeah.
It's like, no. An internet troll leaving a fucking comment on a YouTube video is not the same as people voting on fucking Rotten Tomatoes or IMDb.
I said this shit on Facebook. Okay, they say, okay, it's only fucking white people. So what about every TikTok video, every YouTube video I've seen from a black person say, listen, I'm black. I've seen Little Mermaid. It's fucking terrible.
Like I said, they do
right.
At this point, it's literally like manufactured. They literally like, okay, so what we're gonna do to shield ourselves from the Little Mermaid remake is we'll just hire a black actress. They don't even think about it like, we want to make a black Little Mermaid movie, because if they did, they would do what I wanted, which is like set it in Jamaica, make it all black, do the fucking Rastafarian. Have we seen a Rastafarian any fucking Disney movie set? Cool Runnings, not since Cool Runnings have we seen like Jamaican people represented.
Yeah.
Like not even just black people, but like a specific type of black people. Like that's the other thing. Disney, Lucasfilm, they've proven that it doesn't matter who's directing these movies. Rob Marshall, Guy Ritchie, who else? Ron Howard. It doesn't matter. They will fucking beat these directors into submissions. They're just kind of like putting their name on it and letting Kathleen or whoever the fuck else direct the movie. The committee.
I can't blame Harrison Ford for like saying fuck it. I'm not. I won't be around much longer. This is going to help out my children.
Yeah, the B-Sup stream today that Russ was on. I remember I tuned in for a second and they were like talking about how like Harrison Ford has this like arrogance about him. It's like, yeah, why wouldn't you? You're fucking Indiana Jones, and these motherfuckers at Lucasfilm and Disney are like begging you to come back. You're an 80-year-old man. You're an 80-year-old man. Harrison Ford has self-awareness. He knows that he is just a dumb, handsome guy who knows how to build shit and talk on a camera, and he's 80 fucking years old. He's aware of that. He knows that like when Hollywood is begging him to star in their action movie, that they are fucking run out of ideas. And he's doing the smart thing, which is like, I don't really want to be in your next Indiana Jones movie. It's like, we'll give you 70 million. Maybe I'll think about it. And it's like, okay, we'll give you $100 million plus fucking percentages plus fucking, okay, all right, maybe I'll do it. And then he shows up on set drunk, phones in all his lines, and they can't say anything because they begged him to be there. They begged him to be there.
I tell you right now. Say what you want, guys. Like, hey, it's if you Google it, just Google Harrison Ford's payday for Indiana Jones 4. See what the man fucking made. I can't blame the guy.
Dude, the dude's like drunkenly crashing planes on shit on his spare time, and he used to fuck, Ally McBeal. The dude is living his life. He's a 70-year-old man with an earring, and women still want to fuck him.
Yeah.
He's Harrison Ford. Like the idea, like, Harrison Ford has this arrogance about him. He's phoning in the roles. It's like, wouldn't you? Exactly. You're Harrison Ford. You don't need to be there. That's the thing. You don't need to be on the set. You don't need to be wearing that stupid leather jacket and that hat again. The fucking people at Lucasfilm, who apparently are like, the richest, most powerful fucking corporations in the world, they can't even, they have to beg this old man to be back on set, please. Just so we can kill you off. Just so we can kill you off and replace you with our new British.
For me, in 2023, this is June. This is the worst film I've seen all fucking year.
Nice. Me too. And I take pride in watching bad movies.
Yeah.
It's just like, it's not that it's bad. It's just that it, like you said, it's soulless. And the reason why it's soulless, we could like when we say a piece of art is soulless. Like that's one of those like intrinsic things that like it's hard to put into words, but everyone knows what we're talking about,
Did this scene in the live action one, Javier Bardem said about as emotion as the last fucking shit I took. And there's just no emotion, no soul, nothing.
He was still channeling what's his name from No Country for Old Men, where he's like a psychopath, like emotionless. like
his
a
acting
robot.
It's
I want to, I mean, fuck this. I don't care. I'm going to pull it up anyway, even though it's whatever. But just like, I just want to look how ridiculous this guy looks, like floating in the water like this. You know what I mean? Like,
even like his trident. His trident looks like a fucking cheap one. It's dollar store fucking like $2 prop, man. Like,
and he makes the same face
the whole movie.
Whole fucking movie, man. Triton, he says the same lines in the live action one, but it's like Javier Bardem, like talking in his weird accent, and he's just kind of whispering and mumbling, like I was just what is he? I'm trying to like if I could do my Javier Bardem impression, like how he says the final line, it'd be like, "My only regret is It's just like he like mumbles it under his breath in his thick fucking Spanish accent.
And funny part, he does it like he's looking at the screen. He does it like this, talking like there's no emotion in his fucking facial expression, his eyes. He just repeats the lines like he's reading off a teleprompter right now. And
Ariel, I am very upset with you, Ariel. You don't understand. I'm going to miss my daughter very much. Like every scene, he's just like
exactly.
He filmed all of his scenes in a soundstage in 1 week and one day, just like
he had one facial expression the entire fucking movie.
Like you never see his eyes, like you never see you don't see any of that shit, dude, ever. Like, that's kind of what I mean when I say it's soulless. Like we can tell when there's no passion behind a project. Like I can't tell you how many times I watch a shitty, awful fucking movie, but you can tell whoever made it, even though they fucked it up, they had passion. We need somebody in charge who's not afraid to be like, okay, you're going to make a Little Mermaid remake. I'm giving you $80 million. The accountants are all crooked now. So they're just like sign off to any check they need to, whatever, as long as it's like ESG funded, whatever. But like back in the days, it's like, hey, look, here's $50 million. You can make a movie. You can either spend $50 million and make a really high budget movie, or you can spend $25 million on the movie and the other 25 on paying your friends and doing cocaine and all that stuff. It's up to you. I'll give you another reason why the Fast movies, probably, I haven't seen any of them recently, but I can tell you why I think they have this thing that we can't quite put our finger on. That passion is there because Vin Diesel, he's passionate about these movies because he's desperately clinging on to this franchise because he needs these movies. So because of that, there is a passion there. Still continuing Little Mermaid, like the thing about that is like I remember thinking like earlier, I was talking about with my mother. It's like, I stopped myself in the middle of the thought because I was like, well, that's like, why don't they just re-release the original? Oh, wait, because everyone's got streaming and fucking giant theaters in their house. Yeah. Because usually that's what you would think. You'd be like, why don't you just re-release the original? But now I'm like, no, because what's going to drive my ass in the theater for this? Especially if we're trying to go post-COVID, post-streaming platform world. How are you going to get my ass into the theater? And it's like, yeah, okay, you got to get me and all my kids to come see some stupid kids movie just because it's the only kids movie, the big Disney movie that's coming out around this time. So we all got to go see it. It's obligated. Like, is there any competition for this movie in terms of like other children's movies out there in theaters right now? No. It's a monopoly.
Taking my kid to see a movie it's like fucking me and my kid is like $40 to see a fucking movie versus
the same motherfuckers that are trying to tell us that inflation is only 7%. And job economy, jobs are better than ever. The same motherfuckers that are trying to tell us that like every time you go to the grocery store and spend like fucking almost twice as much as you're planning, that's not that you're imagining that. Just like how they tell you the Little Mermaid movie wasn't bad. You're imagining this. It's like fuck these people. Fuck them. That's what it all comes down to. Again, like why are these grown men over here arguing about the Little Mermaid movie? It's like, well, it's because we're talking about bigger issues here. This is a microcosm. You're over here. The mainstream media is just gaslighting us about every facet of our fucking lives. Whether like the money we spend isn't disappearing, the fucking movies we watching, they don't suck, the fucking food we eat isn't garbage. It's like you're fucking lying. The vaccines we take are totally safe and effective. Let's say the Aladdin live action remake was great, and the live action remake of The Lion King was also great. By this point, when this Little Mermaid was coming out, everyone would be like, "Oh, I can't wait to see it! I can't wait because the other ones were so good. They were better than the originals." Everyone knows they suck. Everyone knows these movies suck. And at this point, like you're trying to force us. You're literally guilt tripping us to go see this movie. You literally just cast a black actress in the lead, and you're like, if you don't see it, racism.
You're a racist.
Yeah.
Fuck you. Fuck you and your fucking stupid gaslighting.
What's his name? The guy with the hair and the shirt, the prince? Yeah, the prince. He's been dropping hints. He wants to know when humans dress all nice like they're penguins, throw rice to pigeons. They're trying to blow up the pigeons, but those are just urban legends. I know a lot of fat pigeons. Scuttle, what the fuck are you talking about, dude? Hey! I will keep singing about the scuttlebutt if you don't mind me. I love Buttercup. Here it comes. The scuttlebutt, whatever the fuck that is. The women who wash the clothes, to the hunter, the arrow, the bows, and the chatter all over the palace is that here Prince Eric's gonna propose to somebody nobody knows. They're saying he suddenly chose. Who you sound like an owl? I'll bet it's the kid with the new set of toes. Anything goes, who never guess our little Ariel's marriage material. Time for the rice and the dress, and what do you call it? The thing with the lips and the press. I don't have lips, I got a beak. So what do you call a peck on the cheek? Huh, you're awfully quiet. Oh yeah.